Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another boxing breakdown and prediction video. In this video, I'll be predicting the super fight between Canelo Alvarez and Sergey Kovalev, or you could say Kovalev versus Canelo. I believe that will be the title for this card. So looking at this fight, you got Canelo, who I most remember for being was a welterweight or was a super welterweight. That's why I most remember him, like when his career started, or at least his star power started to rise, was at 154. Then he moved up to 160 to chase Miguel Cotto. Then from beating Miguel Cotto, then it became the whole Triple G rivalry. And then eventually after a couple years, they fought each other. He beat Triple G, draw the first time. Then what's called? I think he went up to 168 one time just to, I guess he saw an easy world title to win. He beat Rocky Felding and he won that. In this fight, he's actually jumping up from 160 to 175. Though he did win a 168 world title, you could say he really is a middleweight at the current moment, or at least prior to this fight, he's a middleweight, a 160. That's where he is. That's where his home is at, in the 160 pound division. So he's making a 15-pound jump to 175. And you talking about where he kind of started, where his star power kind of started at 154. This is nearly, matter of fact, this is a 21-pound jump from where he started. So it's a huge jump in weight. But I'm really not even going to factor weight in this fight or into my prediction or breakdown too much, because I actually don't think it's that much of a factor as people will kind of try to point out, like, oh my gosh, Canelo's so small and Kovalev's so big. And I'm going to get to that. So as far as this fight right here, it's two guys with a lot of star power, especially Canelo, the biggest star in boxing at the moment, I believe. You can kind of say, oh, Joshua was on point or had the momentum to be there, or this guy, that guy. But matter of fact, I don't think it's that much of a competition. He is the biggest star in boxing at the moment. So Canelo's the biggest star in boxing. I don't think Kovalev is nowhere near the biggest star in boxing, but he is certainly a name. He is certainly a credible world champion. Definitely one of them up there. I don't know if he's still in the top 10 pound for pound, but probably definitely top 20 at the moment still. So two of the world's best going against each other, and Canelo making a huge jump up in weight class. And I guess they could say another factor that a lot of people talk about is probably age. And I actually don't think age is that big a factor in this fight either. I think Kovalev is still 35. And it's not like he has some super flashy style or anything like that, or he's taking so much damage necessarily. He has been, I think, knocked out twice, or TKO/TKOs twice. But it's not like he's been in these fights where he's just been beaten on the whole time over long rounds and like looking like a punch drunk fighter. He's still fresh not fresh in my opinion, but he's not no shot worn fighter. He might not be at his best, but I still don't think he's that far from his prime. I think he's still roughly around his prime or at the tail end of his prime. And Canelo's still roughly just hitting his prime and still getting better. But I don't think age is necessarily that big a factor. People gonna make it. I think what's more so than size, more so than age. I think his style is gonna make fights. So let's I think the style's gonna make the fight for this one. When I look at this fight, yes, Kovalev's the bigger fighter. Yes, this, yes, that. But why I say Kovalev's size don't really matter too much in this one is because Kovalev, despite being a big power puncher, he's not really that physical fighter that's going to be leaning on you, weighing on you, pushing you around, shoving you to the corner and beating on your body. And, being that big bully. He bullies you with his presence and his power and maybe cutting the ring off. I always said cage. I'll be predicting too much MMA. Cut off the ring and make it kind of short. But he's not a guy that's going to be leaning on you, really putting that weight in. You're going to feel the weight in his punches, but you're not really going to feel that weight from his body. And as a matter of fact, most times when you clinch up with him, he's losing those exchanges. He wants to kind of have that mid-range or keep you at the end of his jab. So yeah, Kovalev's really not that bullying type of fighter. So yes, you're going to feel the power. Yes, you're going to feel this and feel that. But he's not really a bullying guy. And also on top of that, nothing about Kovalev is that he doesn't really have the biggest arsenal of strikes. Yes, everybody probably trains this, trains that. They probably train hooks to the body, train this, train that. But really what he comes down to, what his arsenal is, he's a guy that's very good at the very fundamental things. A jab and a straight. That's what he does. He doesn't really have a hook on either side. Doesn't really hook to the body. Not really an inside. Don't really have much of an inside game. He might train to be defensively okay there or solid there, but at the world class level, his only world class tools are the 1-2. He has some good boxing training, like he's a solid boxer, solid skills, but is he like world class technician? As far as just technician, not really. We get him by that he has solid skills, definitely around world class, but are they top of the world class? No. But then he has power on top of that. So he had like freakish power with some decent boxing skill. That's really what makes up Kovalev. And then, yes, that's what Kovalev brings. Now, that factor against Canelo. Canelo is a guy that has very good head movement. He's fought against some of the best jabbers in the sport. I think at one point Triple G was the best jabber in all of boxing, like on papers, like with statistics. You could say, oh, this guy actually, and as far as in the ring, his jab is better. The stats might not say his jab is better, but on stat wise, Triple G was the best jabber, I think, for about 2 or 3 years in boxing. So he fought one of the better jabbers. And Triple G really could land his jab because he was headhunting with it. So if Kovalev really I think Kovalev does go to the body with his ones and twos at times, but he doesn't do it very consistently. Most times, he kind of headhunts. And you're going against Canelo, who has some of the best head movement in boxing, and that's at a lower weight class. Now, coming up, it's going to be real hard for, what's it called? I'm getting my name away. It's going to be real hard for Kovalev to land those shots. If even a smaller, sharper boxer with a better jab, and Triple G struggled to land anything on his head, and that's really where Kovalev going to be looking for his money shots. He's really going to be hitting the air a lot. He's going to be whiffing a lot because Canelo's going to be able to dodge those shots. And then another important note in this fight is that Kovalev doesn't really doesn't defend his body that well. Well, he doesn't defend his body all that great, but he does do it all right. But when people do land on him, it's always noticeable. Like he doesn't receive them very well. He doesn't respond to body shots very well. And that's one of the best things that one of the best things that Canelo does. So on top of being pretty much a 1-2 guy, sticking to the very basics, which Canelo was very good at dodging, he's not good at defending to the body either. You're going to be going against a smaller fighter who's going to be faster than you. And it's not all about, power this, power that. With his power, you really can't land it clean. Then on top of not being able to land it clean consistently, you got Canelo, who has a solid chin. Kovalev has all-time power. Like, he's one of the hardest hitters in all of boxing history. But if he was able to roll with your shots, able to dodge it, and not really land it consistently, he's ripped from your body. As a matter of fact, one of the things that land more consistently is body shot. Like, Canelo's going to be able to land those body shots consistently, whereas a lot of those shots from Kovalev are going to be missing, or he's going to be rolling with them. Whereas I think Canelo's going to be able to land those shots, probably those body shots, about at a 75% clip. Because it's not even people really defend body shots that proficiently unless they move with their feet. And it's not like Kovalev really has amazing feet. He can't really slip that well. So even in the fight with Andre Ward was able to get in on the inside pretty much every time he wanted, get in the clinch and rip it to his body. Whereas I don't know if Canelo's going to necessarily get in the clinch with him because of the size in a way. But it's not like it's off the table. But yeah, it's not off the table. There is size there, but it's not like Kovalev. But it's not like Kovalev is all that good at, distributing weight and, being heavy, being that big guy, being that big bully in the clinch, that it's going to discourage Canelo from wanting to get in that position. I know he's not going to want to be in there all day and, lose his speed, lose stuff like that, but he could definitely use the opportunity to land big shots, definitely try to get an angle, put Kovalev against the rope so he can work those body shots, smother that range, because definitely he's going to be the guy with the shorter man by a couple inches. I think he's 5'8" versus 6'1" Kovalev. So definitely give him a lot of height. But as far as reach, he's only giving up 2 inches in reach. So he's still going to want to get on the inside. He's not going to be trying to fight him from the outside necessarily. He'll be trying to get in, bob and weave, get in, rip the body, then maybe box on the outside. Typical Canelo strategy. Because Canelo, he's a hard worker. He's a talent and all this stuff. But he does sometimes have cardio issues where he has to fight on the outside. So I think it's going to be more so like get in, rip the body, and then fight on the outside. Pretty much taking his breathers out there, using his head movement, resting up, then going back on attack. Go on attack, sit back, go on attack. That's pretty much what's going to be. It's going to be a kind of a Canelo style. I think Sergey Kovalev's style plays right into Canelo's style. It's not like Kovalev is a high-paced guy that's going to be in your face, volume, striking you up like crazy. He's going to be a guy that has a kind of an average pace with phenomenal power. Going to stick behind a strong jab, which is probably going to be hard to land against a faster, shorter Canelo. And he only has a 2-inch reach advantage. And Canelo has faced better jabbers. So he's going to be able to dodge that jab all day. The two going to be falling short, or he's going to be whiffing those on those twos. And then really Canelo's going to go back on there, rip into his body. And it's like, I don't think Kovalev's going to necessarily have an answer. And then in all his career, he hasn't shown an answer to that. So typically, over the course of my career, if they this far in their career and they haven't really showed an answer to a weakness, it's not like it's going to change just in one super fight over one. So to come to the conclusion of this prediction, I just think it kind of starts out a little bit of a feeling. Matter of fact, I don't think it's going to start off as necessarily feeling. It's going to be a little bit of a feeling process. Maybe the first round is a bit of a feeling out process. Then I think either towards the end of that first round or the beginning of the second round, Canelo's going to start to put on that I'm the better man in this fight. He's going to start to be aggressive, and he's going to show, despite being the smaller fighter, that he has power to hurt hurt Kovalev. He's not going to go out there and just box him the whole time. He's going to go out there and show that I can hurt this guy. He's going to go out there ripping his body. He's going to start to go on the attack and maybe start pushing Kovalev back. Then like I said, this fight started to go off. He's going to start to take his time here and there. He's going to be on the offense, being aggressive. Then he's going to take his steps back, fight on the outside a little bit, recover, go back on the inside, and start to rip Kovalev's body. I think with a lot of Kovalev's stuff, he's gonna be coming up short, or what's name gonna be, or Canelo's gonna be rolling with the shots, and it's gonna be like a slow, not a slow, it's gonna be like a gradual process. It's gonna be a breakdown process. I think if he rips to his body and that body gets tender, I think gonna start opening up opportunities for Canelo to come up over top and just be ripping the body, coming up over top. But I think ultimately what's gonna do him in is the body shots. The body shots and pressure of Canelo's gonna break Kovalev down. And I think he stops him in like around the seventh and eighth round. Not saying fifth. It's gonna be like the seventh or eighth round where he's gonna put Kovalev away. I think this wear and tear on the body. Yes, Kovalev is a tough fighter, but that much body attack from that level of a fighter, that tenacity, that speed, and also the confidence being lost from missing on these shots, I just think it's gonna break him down mentally and physically. And by that 7th, 8th round, he's gonna be put away. So in this fight, I got Canelo Alvarez via 8th round TKO. And that concludes my prediction for Kovalev versus Alvarez. And as always, thanks for watching.